This is the video review for Transformers Animated Voyager Class Bulkhead. Bulkhead's an okay figure. Certainly the alt mode is the most accurate of all the Bulkhead figures, except for this gap up here, which is a bit of a shame. Because like the Lear class version is very weaponized, which doesn't quite suit Bulkhead, and the other versions look worse than this. It's very nice, it rolls pretty well. It's not the biggest alt mode, but it feels massive. It's very dense. It rolls very well nicely too. To transform it, pop up these light bars, fold them to the side, and fold these in. Down to the side and in. You will pop this back piece here out, and then the arms will spring forward like that. And what's interesting is, you notice how this arm is straight and this arm is bent? They were both arranged in the same way when they were back there. But if you notice on this arm, well, this arm has no ratchet, this arm has a ratchet, and there's this little black button. If you press this black button, the arm springs inward. No idea why that's there, except it might possibly be part of the transformation, the automorph gimmick, to get to do that. Why? I don't know. It seems odd and over-engineered. And then the arms will plug into the side. Next, what you will do is you will take the legs, detach them, and rotate them down. The wheels here will rotate down and become the heels. And that's pretty cool. I like how precisely that joint was cut. And then his upper body will slide up like this, which will rotate his head around, which is a very neat bit of automorph. So it goes up like this, does that to the head. And once that's up, you can fold up his backpack and split his remember there's sort of like bunny ears that go over his shoulder. Split those, and here we have Bulkhead in his very short robot mode. It looks like Bulkhead, kinda. It looks a little bit too... He looks a little bit too fat. He doesn't look like a strong man who has fat on him. He just looks like a tubby guy. And he doesn't look bad. I mean, certainly he has some charm to him. But I do wish that they had put a little bit more into the sculpt here, so he didn't quite look like a... He looks more like an obese man than a guy who just has a little bit of weight. And that makes him look more imposing. Although part of it might just be because he's such a small figure. Well, not small, but short. As far as posability goes, his arms go forward, back, on a very weak ratchet. They go in and out, again on a weak ratchet. They rotate above the elbow. And here is a strong ratchet on this arm. And then the fingers can independently open and close. Same basic posability on this side, except no ratchet here. And there's a ball in here that his hands sort of wrap around. His head is ball jointed and it can look left, right, and up and down a little bit. Although this part here will turn and that can get annoying. His legs go forward, back, out, rotate above the knee, and bend at the knee. Although this leg is kind of loose, it's always been like that. It's still ratchet the same way, but it's like the space between the teeth is a little bit too much. So, he doesn't have too much posability, in part because, well, he has a posability you would expect, but because of how big and kibbly he is and how small his legs are, he doesn't give the impression of having a lot of posability. And especially since if you're not careful, he will fall backwards. Not as bad as, say, on depth charge, but it certainly could be better. As far as gimmicks, in this mode, in this arm, there's a little lever back here. If you pull it back, excuse me, if you pull it back, it'll launch out, and it's a kind of cannonball thing attached by a string. And I really like that gimmick because it's almost exactly like what happened in the show. And when it goes out, like, it pushes the fingers out too. So I really like how that turned out. The only thing I don't like is reloading this, because you have to coil the wire around in there, but you can't get any of the wire into the part that actually loads, that actually fires the mechanism, or else it won't go in all the way, and it won't fire out properly. So I typically don't fire it. It's fun when I do fire it, but it is a bit of a pain. Now, as far as real complaints I have with this figure in this mode, these pieces here, they just kind of flop around. They look ugly on the sides, and they're also not pinned in. They are the kind of thing that just sort of snaps on. They're supposed to be soft ratcheted, as you can see, because of the kind of angles on this joint, but it works better on this side, but still not very well. I wish they had done something better with those. And those are my thoughts. Thank you for watching.